See us, we don't dare for the long run. We don't dare for the matter. Every challenge just make the flavor strong. It make the flavor join better. We be seasoned. Yeah, the grace just dey plenty. We be seasoned. Our story don't sweet like 20. No be child's play, we the lead now. We be seasoned. Future sweet, we don't see them now. Tell them, we be seasoned.
Hi, and welcome to the season finale of season 1 of Seasoned. It's your girl, Adwa, and wow, happy Sunday. And by the time you guys listen to it, it will be Tuesday. So happy Tuesday to when you listen to it. This is, oh my gosh, I can't believe I am already at episode 10. And you would think that why are you stopping at episode 10? Why don't you go on to like episode 12 and everything? But, you know, let's just say that sometimes, the first one is always the shortest. If you've watched shows that have come out as pilots, they always have the first season as the shortest. But as the seasons go on, they get longer and longer and more episodes. So, yeah, I just felt like, this is the first season. Keep it short, keep it light. And, well, I can't even say it was light because so many things I discussed on this podcast in this season. And I can say, like, just looking back on the season, it's just been mind blowing, right? When I finally decided to do this podcast, it was after, oh my gosh, like I had so many promptings. Oh my gosh, like I can't even speak. So many people like prompted me to go ahead and start a podcast, right? My mom would always say, you used to have a podcast, you were good at it. Why don't you just start again? And people always ask, I had some people ask, so when are you going to record a podcast? When are you going to go back to podcasting? I remember when I first moved to Ghana, a classmate and I even started recording we did record a few episodes. We even got it professionally edited and we never released them. We never continued. Because I just think it wasn't the right time for both of us. She was focused on her business. I was focused to settling into Ghana, figuring my life out, going through a divorce. It was just not the best time, right? And when I think back to, yes, I've been in Ghana for October will be 2 years since I've been back. Ending of October will be 2 years since I've been back. Well, mid-October will be 2 years since I came back to Ghana. And it's taking me over a year being back to finally gather the strength, the momentum, and I think the timing to finally release a podcast. And it's been such a blessing because I was nervous, talking about something so personal and coming from a Ghanaian background where we don't necessarily air our dirty laundry, right? We don't talk about our personal issues. You don't want people in your business. And here I am, this woman just releasing everything, talking about what I've been through, talking about battling an autoimmune disease, just putting my life on blast. And I was expecting so many people, especially people in Ghana, to reach out to me and say, be careful about sharing your story. Be careful about your business. You don't want people in your business. It's not culturally acceptable. I was expecting so much backlash, right? For being so open. And Whew, I'm so out of breath. I'm so full. That's why. That's why I keep breathing because I'm so full. Um, yeah, yeah, I'm just full. Um, and just having, I just didn't expect people to come to me and say, yeah, like this is not the best thing to do. Are you not, why would you put yourself out there and stuff like that? But I am so surprised at how people would come up to me and say, "Oh my gosh, you are brave. This is what I needed. I'm so happy. I just thank you for doing this. Thank you for sharing. You know, I'm also in a transition phase. You're keeping it real." Like, I'm just surprised. Like, even at work, even at work, I have coworkers messaging me and or coming to my desk and saying, "Hey, your podcast, I love it." Or when is the next episode coming out? Or send me the link. I have one coworker who is like has one come out, like two actually, who are constantly asking me when the next episode is coming out. And these are guys, right? These are guys. Um I have people who have subscribed, like just ran, like it's just, I was coming out of I just got to work and I was getting out of my car. And then someone at work just said, "Hey, Adjo, I love your podcast." I was like, what? What? Like, I didn't even, like, I would never have expected her to listen to my podcast. And another coworker of mine was telling me that I was in the lunchroom and people were discussing your podcast. I was like, wait, what? And she was like, yeah, people are talking about your podcast. And I said, was it bad? They're like, no, people are actually like, and like excited about it. And I was like, God, here I was so nervous to do this. And I'm receiving so much love and encouragement from people. I'm receiving so much, and it's not just here in Ghana. Like, even friends abroad, are calling or messaging or reaching out to say, "Oh my gosh, this is it." And I'm not on this podcast to toot my own horn or anything, because every day, every time I put out an episode, I have this very bad habit. I have this very bad habit where when I'm editing my episodes, I don't listen to it. I really don't. I don't, because I just make sure that, I have the Adobe app, and I just make sure that like background noise is removed. And then I'm able to put the intro and outro music in there. And then that's the only kind of editing that I do. Because I don't want to, I think if I edit it, if I do like full on editing and take out the ums, the ns, like, the parts where it just doesn't seem like it's flowing, number one, it takes away my authenticity. I want to be as raw as possible. And number two, I am so critical of myself that if I listen to the full episode before I even upload it, I will not upload it. I will just like not put it out there, because I will find so much fault. So I literally listen to the podcast when it comes out, like everybody else. I will just tune in when I release it and it shows up on my Spotify that there's a new episode of season. Then I go and I listen. And by then, it's too late for me to make any edits or changes, because I put it out there, right? And I think I've been doing that because I just want to hold back from filtering myself, from making it seem like I don't want it perfect. And I think because I know myself, if I make it perfect, 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 I will lose my authenticity. I'll lose the rawness. And yeah, so just to say, I don't even know what, like, I know what I talked about, but by the time I've recorded and when I've edited everything, sometimes I don't remember the whole thing that I talked about. I hardly even remember. I just know, like, well, I talked about this and that, but I don't remember how it flowed, what it made, if it made sense, if it's any good. And so far, I guess it's worked. So this is for everybody. Thank you so much for your support in this season of my life, season 1 of my life. It's been a journey, and I'm grateful. And it's also this season has healed me, because what a lot of you might not realize is that, especially when I was talking about, what I went through in my marriage, in my divorce, through my divorce, a lot of the things I didn't realize I still harbored certain feelings, or I was still holding on to certain things. And it allowed me to, this was very therapeutic for me as well, because it allowed me to release it. And now it's out there and it's off my chest. And whatever residue feelings I had about my ex, and when I mean residue feelings, feelings of anger, hurt and pain, whatever I felt, like using this podcast to talk about it released me from that burden, released me from that pain. And it also opened my eyes to things about myself I needed to work on, things about myself I needed to improve, and also gave me an understanding of God did not bring me my ex. He wasn't the one who ordained my relationship. He wasn't the one, I know God wasn't even for my relationship, but he allowed it because there were things that I had to learn. There were things that I had to grow from, and I had to go through it. And then when God saw that, yeah, I can't let her go any further because she's learned what she needs to learn. It's time to take her out. Because if I'd continued, it would have completely destroyed me. And so God's protection was on me. So that I'm grateful for. And I'm grateful that I've had this chance to share my story. Talking about even battling HS, there was a lot of insights that I had whilst I was talking, right, about it and how I treated myself and my body. And a lot of the times it didn't even occur to me that that was what I was doing until I started talking about it on this podcast. And so a lot of insight came as I was talking. A lot of things came out from me as I was talking about it. And I realized, like, the role I have played in my journey in my life. And yeah, it's been great. It's been an honor to be where I am, to have gone through what I've gone through, and to encourage others who are in similar positions as me or what I've been through, and to encourage people to know that, you know what, everything that we go through, there is purpose behind it. And it's up, and as cliche as it sounds, you can either let your issues, your problems, your hurts, your pains, your trauma either propel you into your purpose, as it's cliche as it sounds. It can either propel you into your purpose, or you can use it to destroy yourself. I'll just say none of us are unique. Our stories may seem unique to us, but once you talk to people, you realize that what you've been through is not new. Somebody's been through it. Somebody's had that journey, but the difference between maybe you and somebody else is how you respond to it. I have learned that I never understood why, out of everybody in my family, why I had HS. And I'm not saying that anybody in my family deserved it, but I did understand why. Like, I have a twin sister. Why didn't she have a similar disease as me? Not to say I want that for her, God no, but I'm just saying that, you know, we're twins. It should have, and the doctors always used to say, your twin should have it, right? And she didn't. And I never understood why certain things happened to me. But I understand now it's because God had a purpose. And maybe my podcast is the purpose. It was for encouraging someone, it's to share my story, to share my testimony, and to let other people know that, you know what, they're not alone. Is also to grow. It's to help me grow, to be a better person, to really set boundaries, because I am not someone who has boundaries. I used to always say that I battle with putting boundaries in place for people to respect me. I used to be a walking doormat, like not a walking doormat. I was a doormat, a human doormat is what I mean to say. I was a human doormat. People could walk over me, say whatever. And a lot of it, and the reason why I think I have been through what I've been through, especially with relationships, is because I allow people to, I allow people to treat me the way I saw myself. And so now I'm in a position where I am learning these boundaries. And the more I talk about my life, the more I start to see the parts of me I need to work on. So, yeah, this podcast has been a blessing for me. And I believe and I pray that it has blessed others as well. But yeah, I also talked about my dating life, which is non-existent. And it's so funny, like when I talked about having a crush last week, it is so funny how people were like reach out. Some of my friends will be like, yeah, who's the crush? Who's the crush? Who's the crush? Who's the crush? I'm like, I talked about so many things and y'all are just interested in the crush. Like, that's the part I love, because it's like, or I remember I was talking about, how, I have an issue with bathrooms and stuff. And I remember um, my male best friend called me and said, yeah, so what's the issue with the bathroom? And he was asking me because out of concern, but I'm just saying that it's amazing that some of my closest friends are supporting this podcast so much, like writing for it. But I love how they reach out to me, and like when I throw out certain things, they call them like, so yeah, what was the deal with what was that? What is that thing you're talking about? I want to know the story behind it. So yeah, it's been interesting, to say the least. It has been an interesting time in my life, but I'm excited about season 2. I'm hoping to get people to interview, people to share stories. I want to talk about topics, especially about us in our like transitioning stages in our lives. I want to talk to young people as well, because my niece told me when I first recorded this podcast, she was like, you think that this podcast is just for 40 somethings, 50 somethings, 60 somethings, but it's actually also for us 20 somethings, because you've lived the life that we're yet to live. So we can pick up the nuggets from your life and, not make the same mistake. Or if we are in those positions, we can understand that, hey, I can get to the other side. So it'll be really great to talk to young people, talk about various topics, go into, as women in our 40s, in our 50s, in our middle age period of life, there's so many things that we're going through with our health, with our wellness, with our careers and everything. And it'll be nice to hear from women sharing their stories, what they've been through, how they've navigated going through a transition, maybe gone through a divorce and how they navigated and got to the other side or got remarried or different perspectives. I love to have a guy on here and talk about different things about, hear the perspective from guys as well. Um, yeah, but another thing that I really want to do with season 2 is maybe I'm not going to put it out there just yet, but just because I don't want anyone stealing my idea. But yeah, I think I'm going to start looking at doing some in-person stuff as well. And there will be a charge, only because obviously the type of thing I want to do involves money. And so, yeah, there will be a charge to it, but it will not be crazy, but it will be something that is beneficial for everybody. It's not, don't trust me, it's not going to be a female empowerment thing, because I don't believe in that thing. I don't believe in female empowerment, whatever. I think we can all empower ourselves, but it's going to be a space for us to gather, kiki, just, a safe space. I'm not there to teach anybody anything or talk about anything that you don't want to, but it's just a safe space where us women can gather and talk and just be women, right? So that's something I'm planning towards during my season 2. And of course, my season 2, I'm going to have different options for, so I do have myself on YouTube right now. I'm on YouTube, but I don't have visuals. So yes, you're going to get visuals of me now. It's going to be me recording. You're going to see my face, so you can watch me on YouTube. And for those who are like driving or you can still listen to me on your favorite podcast, whatever, but it's going to be visual. So yeah, so I'm going to take a short break. I'm thinking of taking about 2 to 4 weeks break, just to make sure that I'm coming back with a bang. And remain. So yes, I most likely will be back in July. Yeah, but I don't want you to forget about me. Don't forget about me, because I'm going to be working behind the scenes to make things better and bigger, and just obviously still have the rawness, still have the authenticity with it, but just a bit cleaner with stuff, and more interactive, more stuff to do. And yeah, we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. And also, who knows? I'm gonna be still experiencing life, God willing, through it all. So I will have more stories to share about what I've been through. Maybe my dating life will change. So I'll have more stories to talk about my dating life. Who knows? Or it'll stay the same. I don't know. But yeah, it's been a ride. This season 1 has been a ride. It's been great. It's been fun for me. I was nervous doing it by myself. So I remember I reached out to my old co-host for us to record, but it didn't happen. But you know what? I'm gonna have her come on my podcast next season. So for those of us who remember us from Fufu and Pap, we'll have a taste of us now, older, wiser, more lived experiences. But she'll come. I'm gonna get her to come on as a guest. Who knows? Maybe my season 2, episode 1 will be what you call it, a reunion between me and my girl. And yeah, it should be fun. I might have more women come on, do a group thing and talk. I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna I'm going to be more, it's going to be different. Let's just say that it's going to be different. So I'm excited. Yeah, so I think I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you for your support. Thank you for supporting me on season 1. It's been a journey and we've just started this ride. So just stay tuned. Share my podcast with your friends, your family. Reach out to me if you have if there are things you want me to talk about, reach out to me. Like, just send me, comment on my podcast, comment wherever, send me and check me out on my link on my on my Instagram. I'm Binzi09, BINZI09 on Instagram. Just send me a message, DM, tell me what you want me to talk about next season. What will be important to you? What would you like to hear? Yeah, and let me make it happen. And yeah, more guests. And if you want to be a guest on my podcast, just also reach out and tell me. I'd love to be on your podcast, and I'd love to talk to you about something or whatever. And yeah, I'll have you on. And yeah, let's make things happen. Let's make things happen. This is our journey, not just mine. It's all of our journey. So I want to share it with you. So again, thank you so much for the love and the support. And I look forward to seeing you guys and more of you guys in season 2. God bless. I love you guys so much. And I'm out.
Yeah, we done for today. Ooh, the journey continues.